Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. We are so excited that you are here. Today is Wednesday, July 17th. It is July 17th, 2024. And we want to welcome you to Purpose Journey Counseling LLC. Locked in. It is still 2024. So we are still locked in this year. We are very excited you are here. It is 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But whether you're catching us live at 7 a.m. or you catch this later in the day, later in the week, later in the month, or even later in the year, we want to say welcome to you. My name is Dr. Natatu North, and I am the owner and one of the therapists of Purpose Journey Counseling LLC, which is located in Cincinnati, Ohio. So again, as I said, it is 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are live. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. And the YouTube link for this broadcast is posted on Instagram. So if this is your first time tuning in, you've never been with us before, you're like, what in the world is this? Don't keep scrolling. This is going to be a quick message that's going to empower, that's going to encourage, that's going to inspire. So because of that, we ask you to take just a few moments to like this actual particular broadcast. Please follow us in our pages. Follow us on your preferred social media platform. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's share. And let's also interact and engage in the comment section. With so much stuff going on in the world, it's nice to be able to share something encouraging to jumpstart our days. So thank you for taking a few moments just to do that. But every time we are together, I do share this information for you. This is for someone who may be experiencing a mental health emergency. So if they're having some suicidal thoughts, they need some support. It's a crisis situation. Could be for you, could be for someone else. That's the number for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. The number is 988. Again, the number is 988. Please store this number in your phone if you don't already have it. The number is 24/7. You can text and or call this number. So please make sure you have it. I say this all the time because I think sometimes we need to get it. Oh, I know that number. When we are in a crisis situation, sometimes it is hard to think. It is hard to remember what to do. So having this number available to say, hey, I got a number. I know I got a number. Okay. The number is there. Then that way you can give it to the person who needs it, or you can use it if you need it. So let's please make sure you have this number for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline 988. So thank you so much for taking just a few moments to do that. So it is Wednesday again. So we are here for our Wellness Wednesday. So we've been locked in all month with various different themes each month. And July is typically a big vacation month. So our theme for July has been rest. We have been talking about rest for the past couple of weeks. So we are going to continue along that theme for this week's Wellness Wednesday. And today we're going to talk about rest and solitude. When I see these two words, not the and, just the rest, solitude, those two words, and those three. But gotta laugh a little. But when I see the words rest and solitude together, I get excited because yes, I'm an introvert. Well, we talked about this, ambivert, whatever. But I'm heavy on the introvert. Heavy on the introvert. We had a podcast about this. If you didn't catch it before, What's Your Social? Find it. It was very interesting. But we did definitely talk about that. But as introverts, we understand that introverts tend to recharge more alone in solitude. But even an extrovert can need solitude. Just because you're an extrovert doesn't mean you need to be around people all the time. It doesn't mean that you never need any alone time. It doesn't mean that you never benefit from actually having some peace and quiet. So when we're looking at rest and solitude, I don't know what's the first thing you kind of consider. I know you can see my background. I say this all the time because it's just who I am. I love the beach. I love the beach. I actually haven't ever really been to the beach by myself. Can't say that I have. But when I think about rest and solitude, I think about laying on the beach alone. Like there might be a few people there, but it's not heavily populated, like just actually chilling at the beach. Or more because that's not, living in Cincinnati, Ohio, that's not something that I can do often. I usually only get to do that once a year, but I'm thankful for that once a year. But when I think of rest and solitude on a normal basis, it's like being able to go in my room and watch a movie that my children are not going to interrupt, basically. And then I can just watch this movie and just kind of like chill. But, a lot of times we erroneously talk about, oh, being alone is bad. It's not good to be alone or isolate. Having solitude and isolation is not necessarily the same thing. And I would like to interject this. What if, oh no, I do need to isolate myself for a minute for some solitude? Is that healthy? I would argue, yes, if you need a moment. I might need a couple of days. It's not unhealthy to need some alone time. That's actually not unhealthy. Well, people need people. Yes, we need each other, and we also need some time to ourselves sometimes. And that's not unhealthy. Even if you're going through something and you say, you know what, I just need some time alone for a while. I need some solitude. I need to kind of rest. I need to kind of deal with this thing. I just need some time to kind of process by myself. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Having that solitude, oftentimes it allows you to block out everything else. It allows you to spend some time just with yourself in reflection, in meditation, in prayer, your devotion time, whatever it is that you might need to do, to be able to function in the way that you need to function. We are like, a lot of times I say, like, we're like ticking time bombs. We just go, 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 go. And we're piling stuff on our plates. We're constantly moving. We're constantly have something on our schedules. And then we wonder why we've run into situations where we just burn out, or we run into situations where we're like spazzing out on somebody. So it's very critical, and it's very important to understand when sometimes we just need a moment to be alone. Sometimes it's a lot going on. Sometimes there's just a lot of people in your face all the time, and you notice, like, you know what, I just need a break from this. I just need some peace. I need some quiet. I just want to kind of tune these things out because I really want to focus on, doing whatever it is that I need to do for myself, whether it's recentering, refocusing, or just literally getting a break. And sometimes the best breaks are alone. Sometimes the best breaks are when there's no one else around. And that is okay. So we need to well, you don't need to be alone. You're in a bad mood. You've been stressed out. You don't need to be alone. Well, or even sometimes something happened. We may have experienced a traumatic event. There might have been an issue. Oh, you don't need solitude right now. You need to be around your people. Even we say that a lot with grief. And even when it comes to grieving, especially, let's say, you're grieving the loss of, a loved one, someone who, maybe you were responsible for making the arrangements. Maybe like you were that person. Maybe it was a parent, maybe it was a sibling or someone, and you were responsible for doing all of those different things. And then after it's all over, you need to kind of regroup, recenter, refocus. You need to kind of, take just a moment, and you want to be alone. Well, you shouldn't be alone right now because you just buried so-and-so, or this just happened. You shouldn't. Well, let's be careful. Let's be careful in understanding that just because there's been an event does not necessarily mean that the solitude is unhealthy. Well, you don't need to isolate. Sometimes it's not even so much isolation. I would just caution us to be careful if we use the word isolation or solitude. Solitude is a little bit different than isolating. I'm not necessarily, I just need some moment of solace. I need some moment of peace. I need some moments by myself. I'm not trying to get rid of you or to say I don't want to be near you. I just need to be with myself. And there's a difference between wanting to be by myself and not wanting to be around other people. It's not about you, it's about me. I just need a moment with me. And then I can rejoin you, but I need some solitude first. And oftentimes when we're thinking about the concept of rest, oftentimes we find the most restful time when we're by ourselves. Even an extrovert can do that, can have a moment. Just because you're an identified extrovert, you could be an extrovert to the core. It does not necessarily mean that you never want to be by yourself. Now, am I arguing that everybody needs solitude at some point in time, even if you're one of those people like, nope, I don't like to be alone. I don't like to be alone. I don't want to be alone. I always want to be around somebody. Would I say that you have to have solitude? I'll say that it's beneficial, even if it's just a few moments out of your day to just, even if it's, not necessarily saying affirmations in the mirror. I mean, you can, but just a few moments just to get yourself going, again, to focus, to be able to focus, to be able to do what you need to do. Sometimes it's best by yourself. When you're maybe setting some goals for the day, for the week, for the month, for the year, when you're trying to just recharge just for a second, at least or reset, just to say, okay, this is what we're doing today. This is what the focus is for today. It's very, very beneficial to do it sometimes alone. And it doesn't mean that it's bad. It doesn't mean you don't like people. It doesn't mean you don't need people, but there is power in solitude sometimes. So I wanted to just kind of have us think about this rest and solitude from a healthy perspective, because sometimes we get caught up in looking at it and in extremes. Sometimes we could be severe extremists, and it's not always looking at it from an extreme. Sometimes it's not. I didn't say that I wanted to be in solitude for the whole week. I didn't say don't talk to me for a week, even though sometimes that's not bad either. Planning solo trips, and I've only done it like one time. Very, very peaceful, very, very peaceful. That doesn't mean you're depressed. It doesn't mean you don't like people. It doesn't mean you just want to get away from it. It means that sometimes the best rest is by ourselves, even on a vacation, because then you can kind of move the way you want to do things. It's not that traveling in a group can be bad. It can be, depending on the group. That doesn't necessarily mean that, but to have that solitude, that time where you can actually rest the way you want to rest. That's okay to do that. That's actually healthy. It's healthy. So the next time you're considering, or let's say you see somebody else going on a solo trip, or you even start to consider going on a solo trip, or you say, they've been in the house all weekend and they're not really talking to anybody. But especially when they tell you, not that we have to explain everything, but if your friend says, this weekend I'm just going to stay home and I'm just going to mind my business and I'm not ignoring you, but I just need some time. Don't try to make them leave the house. Don't try to make them go somewhere. Just leave them alone. You could check it. Are you okay? Is everything good? Like, yeah, I'm good. Especially when you know somebody, when they're telling you the truth and when they're hiding something. Say, no, I'm great. I just need to rest. And the only way for me to rest is to stay home and to kind of like block everything else out. Rest and solitude is important. It looks different for everyone. The frequency looks different for everyone, all of that. But it's important to have some time to yourself, just to take a moment to say, you know what? Let me just focus on what I do right now. Sometimes when you got all these people around you, it's just, one of the biggest things I always talk about is distractions. That rest and solitude oftentimes allows you to eliminate those distractions so you can recenter, refocus, but get back on track. And just kind of have a moment for yourself. So that's our Wellness Wednesday for today, rest and solitude. And it's my hope and prayer that we're all able to obtain that at some point or another, we definitely need to factor that in or weave that into our schedules. So just as a reminder, we do have our Wellness Wednesdays every Wednesday, live at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have our monthly podcast, hashtag from a Christian, hashtag from a therapist with Dr. Atatu on the first Sundays of the month, live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our social media platforms. So we are just so thankful that you have been just continuing to support, but also we pray that you feel supported through this. We utilize this platform for you, meaning who you talking like who are you talking about when we say you, meaning you. If you can hear me, it's for you. It's for you. It's definitely for you to encourage one another. Life be life, but God be gotten, and as my best friend said, Jesus be Jesus. And so we just need to one to another, basically encouraging each other, supporting each other, empowering each other. And in July, we're talking about rest. So let's rest. If you need some solitude, find some solitude, take some solitude today, even if it's only 5 minutes. Imagine, just think about the difference your day will be, like how different your day will be just because you took 5 minutes to yourself. It's lovely. It's a beautiful thing. So our Tag for Purpose Journey Counseling, every time we are together, I want to encourage you to be loving, be kind, be compassionate, and be intentional towards others as well as towards yourselves. Lord willing, we will see you next Wednesday live at 7 a.m. for our next Wellness Wednesday. We encourage you again to have some rest and solitude today. Be blessed, be safe, stay warm. Thinking Cincinnati's supposed to rain, stay dry. I'm sorry, stay cool. Sorry, because it's hot. Stay cool, stay dry. But let's continue loving ourselves and loving each other. And blessings and love to each and every one of you. Have a great day.